Station, this is Richard Hollingham for the BBC. How do you hear me?
I have you loud and clear. Welcome aboard the International Space Station.
Thank you so much. You're both looking very fit and very good after 4 months in space. I wondered how you were both finding the 1 year mission.
So far so good. Being up here for a year is a long time, but, we had both flown previously, so we sort of knew what we were getting into. The space station's an amazing place. We have, great facilities and a lot of capability here. So, I think we're both, and just speaking for Misha a little bit, both optimistic that, we got over 200 days ahead of us, but those will be, smooth sailing.
And Michel?
Космос вообще омолаживает человека.
I think that space makes you look younger.
Это, конечно, шутка.
It's a joke, of course, but at the same time, we are exercising twice a day, and I can only confirm what Scott has just said. We are very optimistic, and I believe that after my 1 year mission, I will be even in better shape than before my mission, since we're exercising regularly, and I hope that our mission will be very beneficial for those who will follow us, and we are very optimistic.
I gather that before the mission you both got on well with each other. Are you still friends?
Absolutely. Even more so now. I mean, you spend a lot of time up here together, and that just builds bonds, between us. We have some new crew members coming up here, Thursday morning that we look forward to seeing them too. It's it's a great place, the space station, to build relationships and international partnerships. That's one of the great things about this space station, is the international component to it.
Michel?
We are still friends, and we'll be friends until until the end.
Until we're in the dirt.
Yeah.
Are there any particular aspects of this flight that differ from the usual missions? Obviously, you've got a lot more going on. It's a lot more about you this time and how you are performing.
Because it's somewhat unique in regards to the duration, more than we've done previously on the space station. I think, if you compare our involvement in the human subject type of experiments, Misha and I certainly have more of that than I think maybe your average crew member might. So, there's that aspect of it. Being up here for this length of time also has you involved in more things that we do on the space station, other science experiments and such. Throughout the course of the year here, we'll have 400 different science experiments going on. So, our involvement will be, bigger than, let's say, someone that is here for a 6-month stay. But, on the surface, though, from a day-to-day perspective, our lives here are no different than any of the other crew members.
And you're working together throughout this year. What does that show us about working together on Earth? I mean, is what you're doing in space something we can learn from?
I think so. This space station, this neutral territory, so to speak, in a very, very challenging environment, gives us the opportunity to work on something that's, very important, very difficult, work with this international partnership. And, we've been doing this for over 15 years now, and it's, one of the great successes of the space station. We're getting great results now from the science we do. So, I think there's a lot to be learned from this in many, many different ways.
And Scott, have you learned anything from the Russians?
I learn stuff from these guys all the time. They have a lot of experience. Their long-duration spaceflight experience is more extensive than ours. They do some things different. They're more practical. they, certainly their budget is less than what NASA has. So it's great to see what they can achieve with more limited resources than we have. It's quite impressive.
And Michel, have you learned anything from working with the Americans?
Михаил, а чему вы научились во время работы с американскими астронавтами?
Ну, должен сказать, что тут есть чему поучиться.
I have to say that there is a lot to learn from Americans. First of all, they're very specific, they're very thorough, especially in performing their tasks and objectives. And I believe there is still a lot to learn from our partners, and we are learning from each other every day. For example, I'm performing all my activities in the same efficient manner, in a very precise and accurate manner. And I believe this is very important here in space. They are very friendly, and I cannot say that I was angry or gloomy earlier, but our American friends are very friendly, so we're learning that from them as well. So in brief, I can say that, yes, we have to learn from each other.
Well, that's good to hear. I have some questions from BBC Future readers, and I have one here from Leon Mantell, who asks, has your spaceflight altered in any way your view of humanity's role on our planet Earth?
Every time I fly in space, I'm struck by how small it makes the Earth appear and how it makes us seem like we're all citizens of one place, not any particular countries. You don't see a lot of you don't see political borders that are drawn on maps. You see physical borders only. So it really gives you the sense that we're all, one big part of one big team Earth. And the other thing you notice is the atmosphere is very, very thin, looks very fragile. So for me, those are the two main things that I find over the course of my career here, how my perspective has changed.
And I wondered whether your training has fully prepared you for what you've encountered so far. And that's a question from Catherine Thirlwell, another BBC Future reader.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a great team on the ground, international team, not only in the U.S., but in Russia, Japan, in Europe, Canada, that train us for many years for these missions. So, although there's, a few things you don't really realize until you get up here, and you can't really simulate well the microgravity environment on Earth, by and large, we are very well trained, and and that's because of the great people we have preparing us on the ground.
Does it change your dreams at all when you sleep above the Earth?
I had an interesting dream last night that I remember, but I'm not going to share that with you. In any case, I was asked after my last flight, hey, do you dream whether you're on Earth or you're in space? And I actually couldn't remember, so now I write my dreams down. And most of the time they're about being on Earth, but a lot of times they're about being on this, sometimes they're about being on the space station too. So it's, like a lot of people's dreams, they're pretty weird.
I've been asked to ask you to just demonstrate some weightlessness. We've seen you pass the microphone backwards and forwards, and you're both floating around, but just give us a quick demonstration to finish.
We're like circus performers.
Thank you both very much for your time, and good luck with the rest of your mission.
Hey, thank you. Our pleasure. Enjoyed talking with you today.